All right, welcome everyone. If you're gearing up for the civil services, especially for the GS1 society paper, you've got to ask yourself a key question. What's really been the biggest shift in women's empowerment in India over the last decade? Well, today's explainer argues it's something huge, a move away from just having good intentions to actually building a powerful, nationwide infrastructure for progress. Let's dive into how that happened. This quote from Sangeeta Reddy, it perfectly sets the stage. Now, for any of you who are going to be administrators, the two keywords here are scale and infrastructure. This isn't about small, one-off projects. We're talking about a massive transformation, one that was designed and rolled out at a national level. And we're about to look at exactly how they did it. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the foundational infrastructure that's been put in place. Then we'll get into what's called the last mile challenge, something you'll definitely face on the ground. After that, we'll examine a new legislative game changer, and finally, we'll look ahead to moving beyond just access to building real, lasting authority.
Okay, let's jump right into part one, from intent to infrastructure. This is all about getting a grip on the huge structural changes over the last 10 years that really laid the groundwork for everything that followed.
You know, this slide right here, it captures the single most important philosophical shift. For years and years, the thinking was that women were passive recipients of government help. The new approach completely flips that on its head. It sees women as active, powerful drivers of economic growth. And believe me, that's not just a change in words. It changes everything about how you design, fund, and measure a program's success. And the sheer scale of this new infrastructure is, well, it's just mind-boggling. Take the PM Jan Dhan Yojana, for example. The mission was to get every single household plugged into the formal banking system. We're talking about 57 core new bank accounts. That's not just a number on a slide. It's a foundational piece of the puzzle for financial inclusion. And here's where you can really see the design at work. Over half, a full 55% of these new accounts belong to women. You have to understand, for millions of them, this wasn't just about opening an account. It was their very first step into the formal financial world, a critical move towards economic independence. So financial inclusion is one pillar, but what's the next one? Entrepreneurship. Building on that new access to banking, nearly 10 core women have been brought into self-help groups. This kind of grassroots organization is absolutely essential for firing up local economies and making communities stronger from the bottom up. And of course, to fuel that entrepreneurial spirit, you need cash, you need capital. So under the MUDRA scheme, which gives out small loans, guess what? Almost 70% of the people who've received these loans have been women. That's not an accident. That is a deliberate policy choice because we know that when you invest in women entrepreneurs, the positive effects ripple out to their families and their entire communities. So, what happens when you put all these pieces together? Well, you start to see real, measurable change. The female labor force participation rate has climbed to 37%. Now, that's a huge deal because it actually reversed a long and very worrying decline. It's proof that these policies are having a real impact in the real world. So here's the big lesson for every aspiring administrator watching this. Making change happen on a massive scale, it's possible, but it's not magic. It only works when you have this perfect alignment of smart design, efficient delivery on the ground, and solid accountability. If you can get that trifecta right, you can achieve incredible things. Okay, so we've built this massive foundation, but that means the nature of the problem starts to change. This brings us to part two, the last mile challenge. The focus isn't just on creating great policies anymore, it's about making sure those policies actually reach every single person they're meant for, in every corner of the country. As future civil servants, this is the reality you're going to be dealing with. Even with these huge national schemes, a lot of people just don't know about them. Enrollment rates can be really uneven from one place to the next, and at the end of the day, success still depends on the capacity of the local team. And the sad truth is, many women are still left on the margins. This right here, this is the next great administrative challenge. It's the difference between making someone eligible for a scheme on paper and achieving 100% saturation in the real world. Think of it this way. Eligibility just gets you to the starting line. Real access, saturation, is about making sure everyone finishes the race. And this is the question that should keep you up at night in a good way. It's what should drive your work every single day as an administrator. It's a simple question, right? But finding the answer is incredibly complex. It's going to take innovation, grit, and a relentless focus to build a system that truly leaves no one behind.
which brings us to a potential game changer. In Part 3, we're looking at the Nari Shakti Vandan Adiniyam, a piece of legislation that just might be the catalyst we need to solve that very same last-mile challenge. So, what is it exactly? Well, it's a huge constitutional amendment that reserves 1/3 of all seats in the Lok Sabha and in state assemblies for women. The goal here is ambitious, to say the least. It's to fundamentally change what political representation looks like in India. Now, the idea here isn't just about hitting a quota. It's about starting a powerful, virtuous cycle. See, when you have more women in leadership, you get policies that are more responsive to women's actual needs. That encourages more women to participate in public life, which in turn creates a stronger pipeline of future women leaders. It just keeps building on itself. And here's the crucial insight. The whole point of this legislation is to close the gap between policies made in a far-off capital and the lived reality of people in their communities. When women leaders bring their own experiences to the table, policies don't just become more inclusive. They get smarter, they get more effective, they get better. So that leads us to our final section, Part 4, Beyond Access to Authority. Because let's be honest, just getting a seat at the table isn't enough. The next and maybe most critical step is making sure these women leaders have the power and support to govern effectively. And this is where the hard institutional work really kicks in. It means investing in these new leaders, giving them mentorship, exposing them to complex policy. But it also means fixing the system around them. That means designing simpler programs that are easier to deliver and creating really strong feedback loops so that policy can actually adapt to what's happening on the ground. To do this right, it requires another big mindset shift for administrators. We have to stop measuring just the outputs. Things like, how many toilets did we build? We need to start tracking the outcomes. Like, did girls' school attendance go up because of those new toilets? That is the real definition of success. So look, the foundation has been built. The political will is there. For all the policymakers and administrators out there, there's no confusion. The mandate is crystal clear, and the time to get this done is right now. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one idea. The great task for your generation of civil servants will be to build that strong institutional support system that can turn political representation into real, tangible, life-changing results for millions of people. So, we want to leave you with one final thought to wrestle with. We've seen how smart policy can create access, but the deeper question, the real challenge is this. What actually builds authority? What are the changes we need to make, institutionally, socially, administratively, to make sure that a seat at the table also means a powerful voice that can drive real change? That is the opportunity that lies ahead for all of you.